thinking about moving to Buckeye, Arizona? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be covering the pros and cons of living in Buckeye, Arizona. Since Buckeye is one of the most requested cities to live in my business, and also one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, if you can believe that. So I thought I would talk about the pros and cons of living here today, coming from someone that actually lives here. So the first pro is the affordability of living here. The average sale price in October for residential sales was around $460,000. And if you compare that with some of our neighboring cities here in the West Valley, like Peoria, the average sale price was around $543,000. Goodyear was $530,000. Waddell, which is real close to us, was $557,000. And then there's Litchfield Park, which was $544,000. So there are still some really affordable pockets in Buckeye that are keeping those average sale prices down a little bit here, or a little bit lower than our neighbors. That brings me to another pro along the same lines. There's still quite a bit of new construction taking place out here in Buckeye. So some will say this is a pro and others will say this is a con. So I'll cover both. On the one hand, in this market, with so many builds out here, new builds, builders are offering some great incentives on their homes. So they have the ability to provide those seller concessions, to buy your rate down, to help buyers with closing costs. So for buyers that are trying to purchase a home in this market, that will be a pro for them. There are lots of new builds here in Buckeye. They're everywhere you turn, there's some new builds, and they're all competing for your business. So sometimes it's more affordable for people to get into a new build, especially if they are closing out a phase of homes. They will sometimes throw in landscaping or drop the prices pretty drastically. So that's a pro for people. On the other hand, when it comes to new construction, the con side is that it creates a lot more traffic, because the streets are under repair. They're adding infrastructure to accommodate people moving in here. So when you're driving around town, you will run into areas where there's a lot of building going on. The roads are all torn up. There's cones everywhere. Traffic is being diverted through some of the obstacle course type things, and the traffic can get really bad. So that's a huge complaint around here right now, is the traffic that's being created by roads and freeways that are under repair due to the construction and overall growth of this area in Buckeye. The next pro is our location. While we are the farthest west of the Phoenix suburbs here, we have great accessibility to two major freeways here in Phoenix that will get you anywhere you need to go. So while it may take us a little bit longer to get places, these two freeways are super accessible to Buckeye. One is the I-10 freeway that runs east-west, and then there's the 303 freeway, and that runs north-south. So for those of us that maybe like to go back and forth to California, maybe you have family and friends there, maybe you like to go to the beach, that's about 4 hours. Palm Desert is about 4 hours from here, and it's about a 5.5-hour drive to San Diego. So Buckeye is kind of conveniently located for that California commute. If you want to get to higher elevations, you can hop on that 303 freeway, which will take you up to Flagstaff, which has some skiing at Snowball, and also Sedona and Prescott. You are 2 hours from those areas if you live here in Buckeye. So we are close also to Lake Pleasant, which is one of the largest lakes here in Arizona. It's about a 40-minute drive from Buckeye up the 303 freeway. And so if you like to water ski or have a boat and you want to get out on the lake when it's a hot day, you are there in 40 minutes. You're also 2 hours from the Colorado River in Blythe, or Yuma for that matter. You can take your boat out in those areas as well. And of course, there's Lake Havasu. That's about 3 hours from here. So if you are a water skier, you like to wakeboard, or you just want to float down the river to get out of the hot sun, those are some great areas, and Buckeye it's easy to access. So let's talk about some cons now. We already touched on the traffic that can get really bad here. With the huge amount of growth that's been happening here, the infrastructure on our roadways are just not able to keep up right now. And since I have been here, which has been almost 10 years now, I've seen an incredible amount of what used to be farmland that's just pretty much disappeared here. And they've turned it into a lot of distribution centers, or those tilt-ups that you see. So the landscape here in this area has changed dramatically from kind of a slow rural area made up of mostly farmland and dairies and citrus to these huge cement distribution centers like Walmart, Amazon, UPS, REI, and I heard Puma is going to be putting a big distribution center here. So there's a ton of them in construction. It's up this kind of interchange on the 303. Lots of construction on that. So that's contributing to the traffic and also just the aesthetics of the landscape here that I don't think is super positive. In terms of jobs though, I'm sure it's really great for growth. So there's that. Another con that comes up quite a bit is the lack of nicer restaurants here and shopping. We have a lot of the chain type restaurants here, but in terms of more upscale restaurants, those are few and far between in the Buckeye area. More are coming, but at the moment, you're going to probably drive about 20 to 30 minutes to get to some good, unique or one-off type of restaurants. We have like an Olive Garden and the Red Robins and Cold Beer and Cheeseburgers that are nearby, but we're really missing like good Mexican food restaurants here. I'm from California and we really struggle to find good Mexican food here or a great steakhouse or real authentic kind of original types of restaurants here. That's the complaint that I hear quite a bit, and that's my complaint as well. Also, same thing goes for shopping. We primarily have like Ross and Marshalls, Targets, TJ Maxx here, but we don't have the Lululemons and the Peoria or Athletica, REI, Nike, or any of those kind of outlet mall type stores here or near Buckeye. It's about 40 minutes away as the closest outlet mall, or like a Macy's or big mall, that's about 40 minutes from here. So we do have a couple of great little boutiques nearby, but nothing much here in Buckeye. Lastly, another con I hear quite a bit is the lack of good healthcare providers. That's not to say that we don't have any, but it's definitely something I struggled with when we first moved here 10 years ago, finding a good pediatrician. Or a dermatologist or family medicine. I just really struggled to find someone that I clicked with here. And I hear that a lot in the various social forums that I participate in. You'll see people asking for recommendations because they've had a poor experience with someone and they've been looking for a good doctor. So it seems kind of like a common theme that I've seen. Hopefully that's going to change here soon, as we do have some big healthcare projects on the horizon here in Buckeye with a new 27-acre Abrazo medical campus under development here in Buckeye. And it, I believe, has broken ground, or it's going to be breaking ground really soon. That's it for my pros and cons of living here in Buckeye. I will say that I live here in Buckeye, so I do love it. And one of the things I personally love about living here are just the White Tank Mountain views that are here. Buckeye pretty much runs along the White Tank Mountains that run north-south here. And so you have these gorgeous sunsets. It's also home to a lot of wildlife and nature here. It's super amazing. And there are a lot of communities that have made Buckeye home. And some of those communities are the most sought after communities here in the West Valley because of the things that I've mentioned above, but also because of the beauty of these White Tank Mountains. If you would like more information on some of the communities there are to choose from here in Buckeye, please be sure to reach out. I would love to help you decide which neighborhood might be a good fit for you. My name is Michelle Seymour, and I'm an Arizona realtor that covers the area west of Phoenix, also known as the West Valley. And I get calls from people just like you every day that are thinking about making the move here to Arizona. So if that's you and you're thinking about moving in the next day, week, or even month from now, please reach out. You can send me a text, an email, give me a call. I'd be more than happy to help. Also, if this is your first time to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to learn about anything new that's happening here in Arizona. Also, it helps me reach more people that are looking to find their dream home in Arizona. So until next time, thanks for joining me today.